robust. All right, now, yesterday was my demo day or test day for my new controller, which was donated by a viewer. It's called the G5 Pro V2 from Michinike. That's the name of the company, Michinike, okay? Or is it Mashinike? I think it's with the A, Mashinike, right? Yeah, here's the instructions. Mashinike gamepad, see that? So, yeah, G5 Pro V2, that's what it's called. So, this gamepad is pretty neat. First off, yes, it has fancy RGBs, okay? And the RGBs are customizable. They can either be solid or they can be pulsating like I have right here, and you could set them to a wide variety of colors. However, the RGBs are basically limited to what's in the controller. You cannot program it to do like special stuff. You can't have it sync with an app. Like I was wondering, could it sync with my RGB app on my computer? The answer is no. So you basically got to manually just do a color scheme, and it's only one color at a time. There's not two colors or anything like that, okay? So this controller has many different features, all right? Its primary, I would say, attraction or feature is it is very customizable. You can adjust the sensitivity of the thumbsticks. You can adjust the sensitivity and dead zone of the triggers. You can adjust all of the buttons and remap the buttons to do different things. It is customizable in that you can buy more parts for it. The actual top of the controller comes off, okay? And then you can put new components in because you can remove the thumbsticks and stuff like that. So that's all cool. You know, I like that idea. It also has turbo functionality. So you can set certain buttons to be turbo buttons. When you just hold down, they'll keep firing. And you can program macros into it, which is pretty neat. I've never had like a macro controller before. I don't think I would probably use it because that's kind of cheating. In a video game, if you have a series of inputs that can be mapped to one button, you're kind of cheating the skill challenge of the game, are you not? A lot of people do it though. Today, a lot of people use macros. All right. So all of that is available in this controller. The controller works with mobile devices like phones and tablets. It works with the Nintendo Switch, and it works with PC. And I believe it also works with the Xbox. Okay. So it works with everything. All right. That's really cool. Comes with an adapter. That's 2.4 gigahertz adapter, but also it links fully via Bluetooth. Okay. So it has tons of cool features that I didn't even really understand. Now, it also has extra buttons. For example, it has 2 extra buttons up here and 2 extra buttons down there. However, after testing it over the course of the last 24 hours, sadly, I do have some reports to make about the controller, about its limitations and things that I like and don't like about it. The extra buttons aren't really extra buttons. And that's a little disappointing. What do I mean by that? The extra buttons, all they are clones of other buttons. Okay? So basically, these 2 buttons here are clones of the X and Y button. That's it. These 2 buttons up here are clones of the A and B button. That's it. You can't actually program them to do what you want. And from what I can tell, and maybe someone on the stream knows better than me, you can't deactivate them. And that's kind of a problem because as I was playing games yesterday, sometimes my finger would naturally slide to these back buttons and tap it by accident, and it would activate what would happen in the menu. So I was playing Minecraft, and all of a sudden the menu opened. People were like, what happened? My finger tapped the button, you know? So to play with this controller, you would have to actually get so used to not touching these buttons that there's nothing you can really do about it. Now, someone already in chat says, oh, that's not true. You have to map them to do what you want. You're wrong. This controller comes with an app, okay? The app is on your phone. It's Android, iOS. It lets you remap all of the regular buttons. So A, X, Y, B, L1, L2, you know, and the bumpers and the thumbsticks. You cannot remap the extra buttons at all. It doesn't let you. They're not even in the app, as if they don't exist, okay? So it sucks. I wanted to disable those buttons and not have them, and you can't. You cannot remap the buttons. It sucks. So it's kind of a drawback of the controller. You have to be extra careful when you're playing. Don't grip too hard, or you might activate the buttons and have either the Y or X buttons be activated. Now, for a game where you need to tap those buttons fast, and maybe you could do it faster here, I guess there's an advantage, but I don't really see the advantage. It's a little disappointing in my opinion, okay? The rumble in this controller is exceptional. The rumble is really strong, like way strong, stronger than the rumble in the Elite 2 controller that I've been using for months. And the other cool thing is, as I said, everything is adjustable. The sensitivity of the joysticks, the sensitivity and dead zone of the triggers, the strength of the rumble motors. You can actually make the left rumble motor stronger and the right rumble motor lighter, or you can turn them off. You have that adjustability in the app, okay? So, also, because the people will always ask about this, what about battery life? Well, as you can see on the front of the controller, it's got 4 dots, okay? And those dots signify full battery. I played Minecraft last night. At the end of the Minecraft stream, one of the lights was off. When I played Clear Obscure yesterday, which was around 3 hours of gameplay, 2 of the lights were off. So from that, we can probably estimate, on average, you'll probably get about 6 to 8 hours of battery life out of this controller before you have to recharge it. It is rechargeable via USB, but also you can purchase a dock for it that you can put it on top, and it charges on a charging dock, much like most controllers have today. So it's either or, whatever you want to do. Wireless connectivity and signal. Well, I tried it both via Bluetooth and the 2.4 gigahertz signal. Both seemed good. They didn't disconnect. They were smooth. I was doing perfect parrying in Clair Obscur. I didn't have an issue at all. It just seemed to work, okay? The form factor is exactly the same as an Xbox controller. I love that form factor. I love that stick placement. So for me, this is like my kind of controller. It's my style. I prefer this over the PlayStation style. Thumbsticks. They're pretty loose. They're Hall effect thumbsticks. And what that means is that it uses a technology that supposedly these thumbsticks would never have stick drift. Okay, that's good, because I was having an issue with stick drift in Minecraft. If you remember, I'm playing the Java edition with a mod that's allowing me to use a gamepad in the Java edition, which normally wouldn't be able to do that. And when I was playing with my Elite 2 controller, it was stick drifting. Well, I played it last night on here, 0 stick drift. So these sticks do not drift at all, and that's great, okay? So, overall, what did I think about the controller after using it for a day? I love the form factor. I love that it has a texture to the back that gives you a good grip. I think all the buttons were responsive. I liked the thumbsticks. I liked the wireless connectivity. I'll be honest, I like the silly RGBs. I pretty much like the controller a lot. It's even a lot lighter than my Elite 2 controller. I don't know why the Elite 2 actually is so heavy, but this one is like half the weight of the Elite 2, which is pretty cool, okay? However, there was one thing going on that I have yet to explain, and I don't know if it's going to be fixed or not, all right? So, when we were playing Clair Obscur, okay? For those who don't know, Clair Obscur is a game that needs a lot of very precise button inputs, because during combat, you either need to dodge or parry, because if you don't, a lot of the times you can get 1 or 2 hit killed if you're fighting tough enemies. So, the buttons were working absolutely flawlessly during combat. I have 0 complaints. I was like, wow, this bumper's working beautifully. And we beat the entire super dungeon and a big tough boss and everything. I was like, wow, this is great. But a very weird thing happened, okay? I was playing Clair Obscur, and the way that it works is when you're either on the overworld or in a dungeon and you're walking around, if you hold down right trigger, you dash, so you move faster. If you don't hold right trigger, you walk kind of slow. So to be honest, it's kind of weird, because I don't know why games even have the walk. How many people played Clair Obscur and just walked normally? No one. Everyone just dashed around, right? So why even have it? Just have you move at that speed the whole time. It's kind of confusing that games still have this meaningless dash, okay? But the weird thing about it was, when I was playing Clair Obscur, my character would dash and stop, then dash and stop, then dash and stop, and they wouldn't consistently dash. Now, the entire time, I was just holding down the button. I never released right trigger, and it was doing this to me. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what could be causing this. This is so bizarre. And by the way, we tried a lot of things. We tried doing the different wireless connections. Like we tried Bluetooth and the 2.4 gigahertz. Then we actually tried direct connecting it with a USB cable. Okay, so in that case, there was no wireless at work. That was just a direct feed from a USB. I did some research and I actually found out wirelessly, this is a 200 megahertz controller, but if you plug it in via USB, it has an ultra high polling rate of 1,000 megahertz. What does all of that mean? I have no clue because I'm not a technical guy, but that's what it said when I researched it online. It says if you want the best performance out of the controller, you should actually use it wired, not wireless. Okay, so what I've done, I actually ordered a long USB cable and I ordered the good one, the one that's like USB 3.2 and has the highest data rate. So I'm going to try it. All right. Today that cable is arriving. And when it arrives, I'm going to plug it in directly into the front of my PC. And I'm going to see if the controller seems to work a little bit better or whatever. And go from there. Okay. So I guess we'll see how it works. Okay. Now, we troubleshooted like crazy in Clair Obscur. We couldn't get the run to keep working. And it was insanely frustrating. Literally, the trigger worked every time we tapped it. It worked. But if we had tried to hold it, it would not stay held. All right. So here's what happened. Between streams, first off, I went into the app and I found out that the controller had a firmware update. So I loaded the firmware update and it worked fine. Okay. All right, good. I went into Doom: The Dark Ages. I booted it up and I went to the stage where the Doomslayer had just returned from the afterlife. The first thing you do is go into a giant courtyard full of a bunch of enemies. I took out the Ravager and I let rip, literally holding down the right trigger and not releasing it. And it never interrupted the fire rate. It just kept firing nonstop. Okay, so it's not happening in Doom. Then last night we played Minecraft. And when we played Minecraft, as you know, there's a lot of mining. And we were in a cave. We were mining a bunch of resources. And the entire time we were doing that, I was holding down right trigger. And it never interrupted. It worked the whole time. So it stands to reason that this should work. There should be no issue. If I boot up Clair Obscur right now, we should be able to dash around and it shouldn't interrupt. Let's find out right now. Why not? That's the beauty of technology. And that's the fun part about the Level 1 podcast. You never know what to expect. Let's pop this sucker open and see if it actually works. Or if this problem persists, that tells me there is something weird with Clair Obscur. Because how is it working in Doom? How is it working in Minecraft, but it doesn't work in Clair Obscur? That's bizarre. So let's see what happens. For the record, I did boot the game up last night to test this before I did the firmware update. So I left the dungeon that we were at, which I believe this is the dungeon. So when we play again tomorrow, I'll just go right back to this dungeon. But let's test it. Ready? So I'm holding it down right now. And I'm running around. It seems to be working. I think we fixed the issue. Oh, okay, he's staggering a little bit right there. But is that the game? That could be the game. See how he's staggering a little bit? So is that the game or is that the controller? I don't know. Now he's going. Now he's hauling ass. So you know what? Do you think it's the game? Let's go into the dungeon. I know the music in this game is gorgeous, isn't it? See how he's staggering a little bit there? But now he's going. So I'm so confused. Let's try it in here because this is where we were having the problem. All right, so here we are. Oh, no, see? Now I'm still holding the trigger. I didn't release it, and you saw how he stuttered there. He had like a stutter step. So maybe it's just the game. Maybe the whole thing was actually the game. I think what it was a combination. There was a problem because I didn't do the firmware update. Still, the Kubo says the game has a weird input recognition. Your left stick has to go maximum in one direction or else your sprint completely stops. So let's test that. I'm holding maximum in a direction. You see that, right? Now let's loosen it. Yeah, you're right. I think that's what it is. I think that the game's sprint is just a little weird. And because this controller has some different input recognition, has that Hall effect and everything, that it reads a little different in the game. So essentially, it's actually not the controller either. The game is just weird. Because again, I played 5 minutes of Doom, the Dark Ages. I beat the entire courtyard, gauntlet of enemies, never had a problem. The controller worked every time, never faltered, never stopped firing. It's so weird. So it looks like it's good. It looks like when we play again, see right there, you saw stuttered as I was turning. Yeah, it looks like as you want to slightly turn, he'll stutter step. There it is. But then he runs smooth otherwise. Okay. Well, I guess it works. Okay, let's get out of here. I guess it works, right? All right, well, that's a good sign because that was the most frustrating thing yesterday. We were trying to play Clair Obscur, and the fact that it just kept having that error over and over, we couldn't even move smoothly through the dungeons. We were freaking out. Like, what the hell? Seems to work. All right, so overall, my first day of playing with this controller, I've absolutely loved it. Really, I did. Like I said, I went ahead and I bought a long USB cable to try it direct connected to see if it even plays a little better. But I really, really enjoy it so far. And I'm looking forward to using it more today for Blueprints. Now, tonight we are doing fighting games. I will not use it for fighting games, but I'll be going back to Clair Obscur. I'll be doing a truck simulator. I'll be doing with this week. So I'm going to use it in various different games, and I'll try to get back to everyone with feedback on how I feel about the controller over time. Okay?